Hi guys, thank you for tuning in again today to Mary's Thoughts. How you doing? Today, I'm going to give you 5 signs to watch out for, just so you know if you're dealing with a toxic person. And I'm going to be giving you these signs from the Bible. Let's go. So, the reason why I am doing this video is because a lot of us young Christians and baby Christians are taught to do good and be good and love everybody regardless of ethnicity, tribe, skin color, culture, religion, and we always try to practice that. But sometimes you're not always going to get that back, and it may be hard for you to realize and accept that because you feel like the onus falls on you as a child of God to keep doing and being good. As much as I understand that, I need you to know that some people are really not to be messed with, okay? Some people just need to be kept far, far away from you because they are toxic. There was a time in my life when I was dealing with a toxic neighbor, a toxic boss in the office, and toxic friends. And I didn't even know how badly they had affected my behavior and my mindset until I took steps back to sit down, think, and ask God for guidance on what to do. The thing is, being surrounded or being in close contact or very close communication consistently with a toxic person or toxic people can diminish you as a person. And this is why you need to declutter your life from toxic people who might be clogging your life every now and then. And I'm going to give you 5 signs that you can use to tell if a toxic situation is brewing around you, right? Number 1, toxic people have a love-hate relationship with you. Remember the story of David and Saul? Saul was being tormented by an evil spirit, and the only person who could calm him down was David when he played the harp. So David will come to the palace. Wait, Saul would actually send for David, yes, through his messenger, and say, come and play the harp for me in the palace, and David will come. And then he sent a message to Jesse saying, I like your son, I need him here with me. And Jesse was like, oh wow, the king loves my son. Okay, son, stay there and play the harp for the king. But you know what eventually started happening? Each time David will play the harp for the king, Saul will take a spear and try to aim it at David and try to kill him. So when I read that passage, I'm like, okay, you sent for him and you wanted him in the palace because you liked the fact that his music used to calm your spirit, but then you still want to kill him. Okay, Saul, what do you want? Do you want him dead and out of your way, or do you want him alive to play the harp for you and calm your spirit down? Toxic people never really know what they want from you. They want you close to them just so they can observe your moves and know where to stab you. That's how toxic people are. So when you find out you're with a person who kind of likes you but doesn't really like you, chances are you are in a toxic relationship with that person. The love-hate relationship from a toxic person would always say, I love you, oh, come stay with me. And the moment you let your guards down, their actions will be different. Their actions will be take a spear and stab you in the back. Okay? So, or in the front. So, careful. When you find out that a person kind of likes you, or they say they like you, but they don't do things like they really like you, they're toxic, darling. You need to step away, and you need to ask God for the wisdom to step away. Number 2, a toxic person is that person who is afraid of your success. So the moment you have an open door or something great happens for you, they start to form all these baseless impressions about you, like, oh, I'm sure that now that this has happened for her, she'll be this. Oh, I'm sure that now that this has happened for her, she'll be that. And you're really not being any different, but they have just assumed that you're going to be different. You know, I remember when something happened for me and someone went and was telling another person that, oh, I think if I speak to Mary now, she's probably just going to be a bit blah, blah, blah. And the person came and told me that, oh, she said, I was like, no, why would she assume that? Like, why? You haven't spoken to me. You have not seen me in almost 2 years. And you're just assuming that I'll be a certain way. Darling, trust me. Such people are toxic. They make negative assumptions about you when you have a new status, a new position, or a new level of blessing. You cannot be too careful with such people. Please be careful. Okay? Number 3, a toxic person is that person who thinks that once they're out of your way, everything they desire, they want, they need will be made available to them. So they're constantly trying to get you out of the way. In the case of David and Saul, Saul was always sending David to battles he knew David could not fight alone. Like, you just send him out and say, okay, go get me the foreskins of Philistines. And David will go. David will go because he's loyal to Saul and feels that his boss is sending him on an errand that was going to help him redeem his reputation as a warrior in Israel. However, what he would not know is that Saul is sending him to that place to go get him killed. Toxic people are always trying to get you out of their way, because Saul assumed that once David gets killed, he's going to have peace of mind. His honor and his dignity is going to be restored in Israel. I remember when I had a toxic boss, and every time she goes to the board, or every time she goes for it that I did not attend, or I'm unable to attend because I'm probably, out visiting clients or something, she'd always make it look like I'm the reason why the organization has not done this, and I'm just the problem. I'm the reason why we're not generating revenue. My department is just giving her issues and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? At a point, it got too much and I resigned. I told her, she probably thought I was joking. I said, the next time you make this assumption about me and you make it in front of the board or in front of our bosses, I'm going to resign, because it's not right. It's not true. Like, I have all the evidence to prove that this is not true. And she thought I was joking, because obviously when there's an economic situation and people are scrambling for jobs, nobody expects you to leave your job. But guess what? I left. And guess what? She left 2 months later, because it was obvious to everybody that she was lying. And when the management now understood that she was lying, they were like, okay, I think you should take over Mary's department now. And she couldn't handle it, because everything she had done to try to ridicule me and prove her point that I was the problem came back to her face. So I wasn't really the problem. Her outlook was the problem. It was not me. And when I left, it was evident that I wasn't the problem. So toxic person is that person who always tries to make you seem like the reason why they're not making progress, they're not being successful, they're unable to make ends meet, yada, yada, yada. But guess what? It's not you, it's them, okay? Number 4, toxic people are those people who always want you around when there's contention. A toxic person will do things to you that they know you do not like, and turn back to make you look like you're the problem, okay? For instance, you probably don't like people wearing your clothes. A toxic person will go put on your clothes and go out with your clothes, and then when you find out, they say, oh, I just worry, why you being so, not good behavior. That is one to what? A person who leaves your door open when you've told them time and time again, I do not want my door left open, and they go and leave the door open, and then when you say, really, you left my door open again, they go, oh, why you being so whatever, I just left the door open, it's not that much of a big deal. Or you tell them, I really do not like you calling me a certain name in public, and then when they get into the public place or the public space, they want to call you that name that you do not like. They are toxic. They are trying to provoke negative emotions from you. Listen, okay? Everybody has positive and negative emotions, right? However, what we call emotional intelligence is your ability to manage those negative emotions so that they do not interfere in your relationships. When you find out that a person is constantly triggering those negative emotions or reactions out of you, trust me, you're dealing with a very toxic person. And one of the ways that they do that is by doing things to you that they know you do not like, things that they know will provoke a certain reaction from you, so that when you react, they can fold their hands and say, she's the bad person or he's the bad person. It's like throwing rocks at a person and putting your hands at the back. If you're someone who does that, that's toxic behavior. And if you have such a person around you, you can't be too careful. You need to stay away from them so that they do not keep triggering negative emotions from you and making you look like the bad person, okay? The 5th and the last point I'm going to make about a toxic person is that a toxic person is someone who tells lies. They could lie to A and lie to B and lie to C just so they try to protect themselves. from whatever it is they're trying to protect themselves from. And sometimes you find that what they think they're trying to protect themselves from is not even like, it doesn't even make sense. Have you ever had that before? And some of these lies graduate into things that are not even pleasant enough to be spoken about. Some people lie to you up to a point that it becomes like psychological abuse. Okay? Psychological abuse says, my shirt is blue. You know my shirt is blue, but you're trying to tell me it's white because you're trying to tell a lie that's going to influence my psyche towards that particular situation. That is how deep that lying can get to. So when you're around a person who never tells the truth, or who doesn't really tell the truth, or who tries to make it look like, well, you see, they're not really being straightforward, but you're going to have to take it like that because that's kind of how the situation is. They are toxic. When Saul was trying to kill David, David had 2 opportunities to kill Saul, and he did not. And each time when Saul will wake up and come out and see David, and David will say, my master, why are you trying to kill me? Look, I had an opportunity to kill you. I have a piece of your garment with me. I did not kill you because I do not want your kingdom. I do not want anything you have. Stop trying to kill me. I've left my home. I'm living in the caves just because you're trying to kill me. Saul will say, no, it's not me. It's people. It's people that are trying to make it look like I'm trying to kill you. It's not really me. You know, you're my son. But David knew that was a lie. And thankfully, David was a smart guy. He would not go back into Israel. After such confrontations with Saul, he would go back to the cave because he knew it was a lie. He knew Saul was lying. He knew Saul had done things that showed that he was trying to kill him. And all this peace talk that Saul was trying to do was just, it wasn't true. It was a lie. And what Saul was trying to do at that particular point in time was play on David's intelligence to make David believe something that was really not true. But I thank God for the wisdom of God that was in David that made David know that there was something up with this guy, and I can't go back to Israel as long as he's in Israel. So you see, when you're with a person who tells you lies, who always twists stories to their advantage, who always wants to tell you something that is black is actually white, just because they're trying to make sure that they're on the advantage side, that is not just a lie. That is also psychological. That is a lie that has graduated into psychological abuse. And the reason why a person would do that is because on the inside, they're toxic. And you need to stay away from those people because you can never trust anything they say or do. Okay? I understand that many of us have been in these situations before. And sometimes you're just like, oh, wait a minute. They've actually been onto this thing before, and I've been trying to be the bigger person and it's not working. Guess what? It's not working because that person is toxic and you need to step away. So let me know in the comments section if there are any other signs of toxic people that you know and how you manage them or how you intend to manage them. Trust me, we can reason life together and we can figure this thing out. Do not let any toxic person be in your space for too long, because God is very concerned about your emotional state and He wants you to have peace of mind. And when you're surrounded by toxic people, you don't have peace of mind. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again on Mary's Thoughts next week. Goodbye.